think that Desire of Ages is the behind the scenes book.
The inspiration from that book, her understanding of Christ's life and his ministry, is absolutely out of this world. There's not a better treatise written on the length and breadth of the life of Jesus Christ.
It also whets your appetite for getting back to the biblical narrative, which I think is an important point of Ellen White's writings. Rather than taking the place of the Bible, she wanted her work to draw you to the Bible and bring you back to the book. And I think Desire of Ages does this beautifully.
I am opening just for you.
We appreciate
It should
that.
be there. Where to open it up. This is her personal library. These are books of other authors. Books that she used to read and do research. Books that she bought and that some were given free to her. So there are about 1,400 books. In that time, they considered that library as a library of a doctor, of a lawyer.
And when the Smithsonian Institution decided that Ellen White was a major religious figure of the 19th century, we took notice. They chose her among the 100 most influential Americans of all time. How is that possible? Well, it's possible because of the inspiration that we believe God has given her. I mean, Ellen White is the most translated writer of either gender. There's no other American writer that's been more translated than her.
Okay, about this cabinet, we have here 120 drawers, LT letters, MS manuscripts. Here we have about 50,000 pages typewritten.
Wow.
Was she typed?
She never used the
Secretary,
typewriter. The secretaries type everything for that. We have an estimate of 100,000 pages handwritten from her. So here we have a letter that she wrote by hand to her son, but the secretary later typed. And it said, "My dear son," they don't put the name, at the end, Mother Ellen G. White, her signature.
There have been two approaches to the written word or the written books of Ellen White. There was the one approach which was as much as possible. So that meant as cheap as possible on cheap paper with cheap ink, and just mass produce it and get it out there so that people can actually read it. So that was one approach that was taken, and in some places it worked. But our early colporteurs discovered that people were prepared to pay for quality. And that somehow when you gave them a book that was beautifully bound, that was state of the art, even if it was expensive, the value of the content went up with the presentation.
The gospel should not come behind anything else that's out there. I think what Paris Publishing is attempting is really a landmark effort, and I support it. We need God's inspired counsels to be in the best shape possible. So I love what Paris Publishing is doing, and I hope that it catches a fire and reaches out and touches lives and brings people to Jesus Christ.
Paris Publishing has taken on this task of producing a high quality Desire of Ages. And I think this is a noble undertaking. High quality will reach a certain audience, could perhaps be sold better on audio outlets, and hopefully will appeal to a bigger audience and introduce more people to Jesus.